Hello and welcome to another Bearded Geek toy review. In today's episode we're looking at the latest DC Multiverse Batman Returns, Catwoman and Penguin figures. And also got a little something here from one of my fellow YouTubers. Stay tuned.
Meow.
Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're looking at McFarlane Toys Deluxe Theatrical Edition DC Multiverse Batman Returns, Catwoman and the Penguin figures. These are long overdue. We've had figures based on Batman Forever, we've had figures based on Batman and Robin, we've had figures based on Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, we've had the Zack Snyder versions of Batman. But we have not had much from the first two Tim Burton movies. Obviously, we had this version of Batman himself, along with the Batmobile, which was then re-released, and obviously as a result of the Flash movie, with Michael Keaton coming back there. But you have yet to have a Jack Nicholson Joker. Apparently, the likeness rights are complicated, but McFarlane are working on it, and apparently there is potentially news on that. So we may finally be getting a Jack Nicholson Joker in the DC Multiverse range before Todd McFarlane loses the license late next year. He said that he does have the license up until the end of 2026. So there was speculation that obviously this license was going to go early 2026, but Mattel have confirmed they're not releasing DC kind of like themed toys until early 27. So obviously that allows Todd to continue making the DC Multiverse range. So we've still got plenty of time to get the figures that we like. Linda Carter Wonder Woman, please, if you're watching. But these are figures from the Batman Returns wave, and obviously it has 4 main figures from the Deluxe Theatrical set. Now, I only got 2 of them. I didn't bother with the second Batman, even though I do kind of prefer that suit. And I have seen video reviews, and it does look as if it's slightly better, certainly in the head and the cowl area. So, yeah. I kind of like having, well, should I have picked it up or no, but, it's kind of like the whole, like, Luke Skywalker, Boba Fett, kind of like Doctor Who kind of like thing. How many versions of one character do you need? And the answer is obviously as many as you want. So I got the Catwoman and I got the Penguin, so the 2 main villains from the movie. I didn't get the Max Schreck figure, but again, I am wavering now and thinking, should I have got him as well? Because I saw a wonderful theory the other day. It has long been speculated, not as long as Die Hard, but is Batman Returns a Christmas movie? It is set at Christmas. It has characters wishing each other Merry Christmas. There's Christmas trees in it. There's snow. I would say it is a Christmas movie. And I saw a theory, and I will go through this theory now, that it is a loose adaptation of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, with the villains of the movie representing the different ghosts. So the ghost of Christmas Past is represented by the Penguin, because the Penguin was born into a wealthy family, similar to Bruce Wayne, but was shunned by his parents and discarded, and then became a villain. So that's the Ghost of Christmas Past. The Ghost of Christmas Present is deemed as Catwoman, because she is has a traumatic event and then dons a leather costume and then becomes a vigilante and is wavering on the side of like good and bad. So she's currently how like Batman is in the present, so she's the Ghost of Christmas Present. And then you've got the Ghost of Christmas Future, represented by Christopher Walken's Max Schreck, because he's a shrewd businessman who has no morals and wants as much money and power as he can get. So that's kind of like a future version of Bruce Wayne if he ever fell into kind of like being very, very greedy and stopped being Batman and devoted his time to his business and became kind of like a kind of like greedy businessman. So I think that's a very good theory. That obviously, yeah, and I think that amplifies the fact that I think Batman Returns is a Christmas movie. Anyway, moving on. Let's have a look at these two figures. Obviously, both packaging is exactly the same. You've got the lovely snowy Batman emblem on the side there. You've not got a lot on the side there, but I do like this metallic kind of like colouring, which we also got for the James Gunn Superman movie wave. And then on the back, disappointingly, I thought they would have had kind of like more character-like artwork, but it's just the same movie poster artwork from Batman Returns showing Batman, Catwoman, and Penguin. So there you go. So yeah, that's enough about me rambling on. Let's have a look at the figures. Let's start with Catwoman. So before we get to the figure, just a nice little mention of the inside packaging, which is kind of like a nice artwork of the Batmobile shedding part of its skin in that scene, obviously, where the Penguin has taken control of the Batmobile, and obviously Batman's escaping the police as they're chasing him, and then obviously presses a button, and then like the Batmobile turns into a like slimmer version, so it can go down a very narrow alleyway to escape the police who are chasing him. So a nice little bit of artwork there from a scene in the movie. And this is another thing that is new. For once, I've not had a figure like this before. The trading card and the stand are not glued to the inner packaging. So you don't need to like ruin that by ripping them off. You can just pop these things out. And yeah, let's just pop the trading card out. Which disappointingly I think is the same for all the figures in this wave. Again, you would think that they would have some artwork of each individual character, but they haven't. They've just got the movie artwork. Deluxe Theatrical Edition, it says, in nice kind of like silver embossed writing there down the side. And then a bit of a data file about Catwoman, which doesn't really tell you much because it doesn't tell you much about the actual character. Just a generic description of the movie. The sequel to Batman pits the Caped Crusader against his most fiendish opponents yet, the evil Penguin and the sinuous and mysterious Catwoman. Well, thanks very much. Bit useless, but there you go. Anyway, this is the first DC Multiverse stand that I have got, which has the old style bullet logo on, which DC have now readapted, so they're using that now. So that's going to look a bit silly because it's going to like stand out like a sore thumb with all the other DC Multiverse figures that I've got on stands. But there you go. They've now emblazoned with the new old DC Bullet logo. So that's the new stand. But let's get the figure out of the packaging and get the important stuff out of the way. So not much in the way of accessories. We basically get two accessories, obviously by size of the stand and the trading card. We've got Catwoman's whip here, which is a very nice piece of plastic. Very nicely detailed and far better than the whips that used to be included with the Indiana Jones figures by Hasbro. But there you go. So, but then obviously you've got the bigger scale, haven't you? Because this is a 7-inch figure, not a 6-inch figure. And then she comes with the kind of like the electrocuting, I don't know, what is it? Whatever she uses to obviously stun people, and obviously she uses it in the end on Max Schreck.
Just the pussy I've been looking for.
But here is the figure, and do you know what? McFarlane have been criticised in the past with their likenesses. Certainly when you're dealing with characters from movies and TV shows. But bloody hell, that is a great face sculpt, and that looks like Michelle Pfeiffer. They have got this down to a T. That is perfect. Pun intended. Yeah, perfect. It's a great figure. She's very spindly, but she has to be, because obviously it is Michelle Pfeiffer as Selena Kyle, who becomes Catwoman in her very slinky leather Catwoman catsuit. I'm loving the detail of the stitching everywhere. Fantastic. Again, it has the 22 moving parts or points of articulation. No extra kind of like hands come with it, so you kind of like, you're not really getting much besides that. But obviously, as long as she can hold the whip, I think that's good enough to me. Which I presume has to go in this hand. I can see there's quite a lot of spindly kind of like fingers there, because we're looking at quite some delicate bits of plastic here, so I'm going to be very, very careful putting this whip into her hand here. In fact, I might just do this off camera just to make sure, because I think this is going to be very, very, very fiddly. So we'll be right back.
One eternity later.
That didn't take as long as I expected. Now let's just move Batman out of the way, just because, so we can actually see in better detail Catwoman. This is a great figure. I am really, really pleased with this. Batman Returns is probably my favourite of the original Batman movies that came out in the late 80s, early 90s. And yeah, I really do love this movie. And yeah, I mean, she's basically in the pose that she comes out of the packaging. And, you know, I don't want to change that. Obviously, she's got some peg joints in both of the feet, so you can change the feet if you're using the stand. But just look at that. I mean, that is just sheer detail. That is brilliant. I'm just really, really loving just how this figure looks. That is fantastic. And I thought she would have more problems standing up, but she doesn't. She stands up really, really well. And I'm just really knocked for six with that likeness, because that likeness is just absolutely spot on. I'm trying to work out whether that is some digital face printing or whether that's just a very, very good paint job. But that is spot on. That they have nailed Michelle Pfeiffer's look there brilliantly. So that is a fantastic figure for Catwoman. I am now regretting not getting Batman and Matt Shrek, so I think I'm going to have a bit of a search over Christmas to see if anywhere is still selling them, because I think I may have to get the full wave. Also, there's a fifth figure available, which is the Penguin with his rubber duck vehicle, which you can get. Obviously, a variant of Penguin in his kind of like just his kind of his manky kind of like under what would you want called, pajamas, his underpants, his undergarments, whatever you would whatever the American long johns, there you go, struggling to find the word, long johns, in his long johns. Anyway, let's now have a look at the Penguin. And in a complete contrast to the Catwoman figure, the trading card and the stand are kind of like molded in plastic on the back of the inner packaging, so as DC Multiverse standard usually. So yeah, I would prefer it the other way.
What do you want? Ah, The direct approach. I admire that in a man with a mask.
And again, I am absolutely flabbergasted with the attention to detail and just how good this figure is. Let's get the accessories out of the way. First, he comes with a umbrella, which you cannot unfurl, unfortunately. So you can obviously just have him holding that. I would have preferred probably one where you can open up, and I'm sure they could have done it in whatever way. Especially that one with the spiral on it. I think that would have been good. So you've got one umbrella, and then you've got his famous top hat, which obviously we will put on his head shortly. But let's just bring in this figure. Just look at that. They have absolutely nailed the grotesque features of Danny DeVito there as Penguin. Just amazing. Again, they've really gone all out here. We actually have a cloth goods coat, which I'm in two minds about, actually. I perhaps would have gone with a bit of a softer vinyl. I think that might have been better, but obviously with the fur trim round the collar, because I don't know, I don't know what this kind of materials, but I know this material kind of like sometimes bobbles very, very easily, and I don't know how that's going to hold up stood on a shelf quite a lot. But you can obviously open that up. You can take the soft goods off, and we'll just slowly take the coat off there. And let's just have a look at the figure there. They have just nailed that completely. Lots of detail there in the waistcoat. Look at the texture. Look at the texture on that waistcoat. Nice paint job on the cravat. Obviously his legs are a bit like, obviously short and stubby, but of course they're going to be. Detail on the hair, lovely paint job there. And again, just look at that face. That is manic. I remember when the first photos were leaked to the press, or kind of released by Warner Brothers, showing the Penguin, and just showing like Tim Burton's version of the Penguin, and it is very, very kind of obviously just so grotesque and just completely unlike how he was in the comics, and obviously the TV series as well, the Adam West TV series, where he was brilliantly played by Burgess Meredith. But Danny DeVito did such a brilliant job and such a unique take. Obviously completely different to the mob boss that is now kind of like the standard that we get, both in the comics and also the recent Colin Farrell version, which again is another feat of brilliant makeup. You did not know that it was Colin Farrell portraying the Penguin. And again, the same here. Stan Winston, I believe, did the makeup and effects for a lot of Batman Returns, and I think he did some of the designs for the makeup for Danny DeVito's Penguin. Absolutely fantastic. That is amazing. That's brilliant. Let's just put the we'll slowly put the coat back on, and let's just be a little bit careful here, because I know this material also tends to rip as well. So I don't know whether it's a cheap alternative that they've done, but let's just see if we can get the okay. That's going to be a challenge. That's very, very small for him to hold that. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go in. Oh, does that need to... do we need to warm that up with hot water? That's going to be a challenge to fit that in there. So we may have to just soak that in hot water a little bit. Yeah, he's not quite holding that umbrella there. So anyway, let's have a look at what he looks like with the top hat on. And, oh, I don't think that top hat's going to stay on, do you? Which way around does it go? Guessing the brim further down. But there you go. That is magnificent. These two figures are just fantastic. I'm really, really loving. These are two of the best figures I think McFarlane have ever released. I cannot fault them in any way. Yeah, let's see if we can get that umbrella in his hand. And yeah, let's see if we can get him to hold that properly. Now, I've had to put him on the stand and raise his hand up because obviously with the umbrella is like quite longer, and obviously if you have him holding it, then the umbrella's going to go that way. So I've managed to get him on the stand because he is quite top heavy, and I get the feeling that if you don't put him on the stand, he's probably going to topple quite a bit. So yeah, but again, these two figures, absolutely fantastic. I'm loving these two figures. I think I will have to, as I said, look for the other figures in the wave. Let's just bring Batman, Michael Keaton in the background there. And yeah, just great figures. Anyway, before we finish the video, a little bit of a Batman themed extra. So Retro Toy Guy Sai, who is a channel that I follow and watch, and he comments on my videos, I comment on his, and you know, he's a great guy. He messaged me the other day and he said, hi, I'd like to send you a Christmas card and a sticker. And he lives in the Netherlands, although he is British. And I said, yeah, absolutely, here's my details. And so lo and behold, he sent me a lovely Christmas card, which is the first Christmas card we actually received, so thank you for that, and a sticker, which obviously is the logo to his channel, Retro Toy Guy Sai. So if you've not yet come across his videos, or you don't subscribe to him, then give him a subscribe. And he does put out some really good content, a lot more vintage based than what my channel sometimes is. So he does look at quite a lot of like older toys from like the 70s and the 80s. But yeah, that's a cool thing. But he also sent me these. Again, Batman themed. And I just wasn't expecting this. I just thought, oh wow. So thank you, Sai. Obviously they are the trading cards from the release of the Batman movie in 1989. He's, I presume, wisely thrown away the bubblegum. Hope he didn't eat it. Obviously, he's cut them open, and yeah, he's left he's given me two of the trading cards here. So we've got there Michael Keaton in the Batman suit, which is obviously where this figure comes from. The Guardian of Gotham City, with some details on the back there. Collect all 132 cards. Amazing. And then what's in this one? Let's just check what's in this one. It's got the Joker on the front there. Of course, the new crime boss. Again, hopefully the rumours are true that McFarlane Toys are going to be doing a Jack Nicholson Joker some point in 2026. We look forward to that. Again, you've got some details there. And it says, continued on card number 47, Gotham City's gang lords. So again, I think it tells the story of the film across all 132 trading cards, because that says the end. So, but thank you so much, Sai. I really wasn't expecting that. And absolutely a nice little extra to have. I do have an upcoming video about trading cards coming up because I've still got my Star Wars trading cards from the late 70s. And also I managed quite some time ago to get the Raiders of the Lost Ark Indiana Jones set. So I'm going to do a bit of a nostalgic video on trading cards. But yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Si. Again, Retro Toy Guy Si. Check out his channel. So, in conclusion, again, McFarlane Toys have really knocked it out of the park. It's a shame that they will be losing the license, because I know they've come in for a lot of criticism over the years when they first got the license in 2020, and that, you know, their figures were clunky, they were, you know, badly articulated, they looked rubbish, they couldn't pose well, they had pin joints, all the rest of it. But I think in the last couple of, probably the last like 12, 18 months, they really have kind of like nailed it down, and they're now producing just brilliant figures like these 3 figures here, along with obviously the Christopher Reeve Superman that we reviewed very early on at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I mean, the stuff they're putting out now is just, obviously, it's light years above the stuff that they first put out when they first got the license. So it is a bit of a shame that they will be losing the license. But, you know, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. So, yes, I probably will be looking to get the other 2 figures in this wave. So that's obviously the Batman Returns version of Batman, and Christopher Walken's Max Shrek, which we'll probably try and get at some point and then do a review on those. So anyway, there are 2 of the figures, Catwoman and the Penguin from Batman Returns. Definitely a Christmas movie. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, then please leave us a like. It really does help out the channel. What's your opinion? Do you think Batman Returns is a Christmas movie? Put your comments down below. Anyway, hit the like button if you like the video, and also hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified whenever we upload any brand new videos. Thank you once again for your continued support. Also, if you want to support me even further, you can hit the link in the description below and buy me a coffee. Just a suggestion. Anyway, we've still got loads more videos to come, so stay tuned, stay safe, and we'll see you very, very soon on Bearded Geek Toy Reviews. Bye now.
Well, somewhat then. Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne.
Merry Christmas, Albert. Goodwill toward men.